What's up everybody, I'm Dr. Winners and we're back with another crazy video of all the crazy dental videos you guys tag me in each week. And today we got some crazy stuff from a dude literally trying to pressure wash his teeth white to a girl who ruined her teeth because of her cat. That's right, these crazy videos just keep getting crazier along the videos, so let's go ahead and get right into it.
My cat is ruining my teeth. Let me explain. So I go to the dentist and he says that my top teeth have dents in them, as if my bottom and top teeth are touching and I'm grinding them back and forth like king, like.
Okay, now first I'm gonna stop right here before she gets into it. I'm trying to figure out how a cat can go into teeth, but this is very common. We see this all the time when people's front teeth hit each other. In fact, my teeth have this same issue. Now, I don't know if you can tell this, but I actually have some chips in my front teeth because I have a bite that where these front teeth hit each other and they grind and they start to wear away at each other. So it's a very common bite pattern that we see a lot. It's basically when you're hitting on your front teeth instead of your back teeth like you should. So let's just knowing that in general, let's see how this pertains to cats.
And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I do that? He's like, I don't know, you're clearly doing it. You're grinding your teeth top to bottom like a weird nutcracker. And I was like, I promise I don't do that. And he was like, well, you have dents in your teeth.
Okay, so that's something I actually see all the time is number one, whenever I see people with wear on their teeth or grinding, they always tell me, Doc, I don't do that. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen myself grind ever in my life. And that's because normally you do this during times of nocturnal sleep. So basically when you're sleeping, you're not thinking you're grinding away and you don't even know it. There's other also times, during the day you may be working or you may be stressed or you may be working out or you may be doing something like that where you tend to clench more likely, but the grinding stuff that's actually chipping your teeth is normally happening at nighttime.
So you clearly do it a lot. And I was like, I think, is he gaslighting me? So I get home from the dentist and I look at this adorable little face and I go, you're so cute, I could just...
Boom. Exactly. So that's one of the clenching moments that I was talking about. So if you have something, you have this kind of, it's almost like a habit, like picking your nails or something like that, where you just clench and you don't even realize you're clenching. But that being said, it may be causing some of the muscle strain, but I don't think that would necessarily cause the chipping of her teeth.
I've had this cat for 10 years. She's so cute that my cute aggression is causing me to, I have permanent damage. She's so cute that my teeth now have permanent damage.
Okay, so I went ahead and paused it and I'm taking a look at her bite and you can actually see a couple things. She is very tight here in the front and she has crowding, which means that she's been hitting here and causing these lower teeth to crowd up. So basically, yes, it is a bite issue. It probably doesn't have to do with her cat. It just is in general. She's got a bite that where her front teeth have no room to go. In fact, if you unraveled her crowding on the lower, she would probably just go into an underbite. And so what she would need is probably some braces with some rubber bands and a little bit of what we call IPR or polishing between her lower teeth to get rid of that crowding and bring it back to where she has a little bit of space. This is exactly, I'm about to go into Invisalign to fix this exact problem with myself. So does the cuteness aggression help? No, it probably doesn't help, but is it the thing actually causing the issue? No, she just has a bad bite and probably some nocturnal grinding because of it. Let's go to the comments. Someone said having to wear a mouth guard around your cat is a funny thought. And actually that's probably not a bad idea. She could get a mouth guard at night so she could put that in there and grind. I would actually do it to where it would hit more on the front teeth than the back teeth, so that way those back teeth can come down and touch and kind of undeepen her bite a little bit. Ooh, someone did get it. They said bruxism also happens when you're asleep and would be unaware, but I like this explanation better. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I don't. I like your explanation better because more than likely it's just some nighttime bruxism with a bad bite. Now, speaking of dents in your teeth, this other girl tagged me in a video and said, Bentist, what the heck is going on with my teeth? Because I got dents and I don't think it's from grinding. So let's go ahead and look at these dents and see exactly what they could be.
I wish I changed colors like a salamander.
Oh my goodness. Well, look at that. She does have some bumps. When you look at it, you can see that normally your teeth are pretty straight edges, but hers has all these little bumpies on it. And as you guys know, we've talked about chipping and wearing and, wearing down your teeth and getting little chips and cracks, and that's actually not what's happening here. These things are actually what we call tooth mamelons. And so what happens is as your teeth form, you have these little mamelons or these little edges of your teeth, and this is exactly what they look like. Whenever a fresh newborn teeth comes out. In fact, when teeth come out, they look like this. They don't actually look straight like you're used to. But Bentist, that doesn't make any sense because none of my teeth have these on there. What gives? Well, that's because they're actually meant to be worn away over time. And so your adult teeth will naturally wear those mamelons down until you have naturally straight teeth. Now, some people can wear their teeth around so much that they shorten it and it gets super flat in there. But this is actually somebody who has a bite, more than likely. In her case, she has a bite to where her teeth don't really grind up on each other in the front. She probably has a little gap there, and so those never touch, and because they never touch, they never wear away. You know, a lot of people actually come into my office thinking these are chips, and actually the funny thing is when we get done with braces, a lot of the times we will naturally wear these down ourselves. We'll do what's called Hollywood, and we'll go in there and we'll polish them all off flat, and actually it's because they're meant to come off. But having these is actually not a problem at all. Let's see what you guys thought in the comments though. We actually had a doctor chime in and say, I'm 30, still have them. They help your teeth come out of the gums. And that actually could very well be a thing, that the mamelons are more serrated, and so maybe they help your teeth push through the gum tissue to break through. I never thought about that. Someone else said, wait, teeth have many teeth? Well, actually they kind of do. Those mamelons are kind of like little teeth buds out of the main tooth bud, so she's actually not too far off there. And someone said, I filed them and now I have perfect teeth. Well, that was kind of exactly what we were saying. When we get done with braces, we actually do file them down. A lot of times I ask them though, because some people want that natural look and they want to keep them. But what about you at home? Do you guys still have mamelons on your teeth, or are yours already worn down? Let me know down below. Now, a lot of people try and whiten their teeth in some crazy ways, but this guy went a little bit too far with it. I'm not gonna lie. He decided he wanted to use a pressure washer on his teeth to whiten them. And yeah, I think we just need to watch the video on this one. Yeah, you guys tag me in this one a lot, so it already kind of scares me. Day one of cleaning my teeth with a jet wash. Jeebus. He literally said, I want to achieve my turkey teeth with a jet washer. And as you can see right out of the gate, if you just pause it. Now, these pressure washers are a pretty serious deal. I mean, it's ripping the stain right off that wood. It can do it off tile. It can do it off everything. In fact, it can actually like rip through concrete. So I really highly suggest probably not doing this, because that would be, I don't even know what's gonna happen to him.
Hey, why do your teeth look like corn on the cob? All yellow and shit. I'll come up with an idea.
Fun fact, your teeth don't have to look like corn on the cob, because your teeth are naturally yellow, but they shouldn't be that yellow. I mean, corn's pretty yellow.
Yes, you're gonna have to wear your safety glasses.
Well, at least he's thinking about safety there.
This one's on, so he's probably a little bit better. And don't forget your safety hat, just in case you get any.
My boy got his he is so worried about safety, he's got a safety cap and safety goggles on.
Adrian.
But he thinks his mouth, I mean, dude, I do not even want to know where this is going. Hopefully they lower the setting. They have to have lowered the setting. There's no way. Oh, they didn't. Oh my gosh. Well, he looks okay.
Oh, it stings a little bit. But I had my safety glasses.
No, it stings, really? Oh my gosh.
Clean they are now.
Oh, no! Okay, well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this is exactly what I thought would happen, and it damaged his gum tissue, and he is, you know, there's some stuff coming out of there that you can see with some damage usually that happens. It's a color red, if you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, no, highly don't recommend that. That is just going to absolutely destroy his teeth. And so, I mean, that could happen for two reasons. It could be because he had a bunch of gingivitis, it's already inflamed, and so the water going in there is doing that. But more than likely, it's just because it really just ripped open his gum tissue, got up in there, damaged his PDO fibers. That could cause massive gum resorption. Do not do this at home. What the heck is people saying in the comments? I'm wondering about this one. Somebody said nutcase, and I'm not gonna lie, I mean, probably not the best idea there. This guy may have a screw or two loose for sure. Someone also said, you're better off using a toothbrush, mate. Still looks like a row of sweet corn. You just added some ketchup. Oh, well, that's, I mean, he did. Yeah, well, that was weirdly on point there, that comment. Yep. And somebody also said, UK British bright guy. I mean, come on. The people in the UK aren't that dumb. I know they aren't. Right, guys? Needless to say, I think you guys understand to not do this. This is gonna be on the Bentist list of no-goes for the way that we whiten our teeth here. Yeah, that's just not gonna work for me. Okay, speaking of whitening your teeth, now let's try and find an actual good way to whiten your teeth, because we actually had a dental hygienist, you guys tagged me in this video a lot, said this dental hygienist gave me 3 really good whitening teeth hacks that were actually good. And that's pretty rare, because we see a lot of whitening hacks and not a lot of them are very good. So we're gonna watch this and see just how good they really are. Alrighty, we got 3 whitening strip hacks from a dental hygienist. Now this is good. You guys told me this was really good. Okay, first off, whoa, it's happening. So What the heck? Okay, first one was cut the whitening strips to the size of your teeth. And actually, that's a great hack. I actually totally, if only somebody would have came up with a way to do this so you didn't have to cut. Oh wait, I did. That's right, something nice literally came up with this idea. I'll actually show you. It's actually pretty cool. It's our Lumi Smart whitening strips have this built in to the actual whitening strip already. In fact, I saw that this was a big deal that people were doing, and I was like, dude, why not just build this into the strips ourselves? And I'll show you. We'll take out a little Lumi strip pack. You see these little lines? Well, those are actually what we call smart adjust. And so you don't have to cut your teeth in the middle. You can literally just take it. So take a look here. Like I say, we want to do the top one. Take a look. You can just peel it right down the middle. Look at that. You see how that's peeled right down the middle? And guess what? You can go ahead and put that right on there, and you can do it right on it, you know, and it fits perfectly on your teeth. By the way, they taste really good too. And not only that, there's two different places. So if you have a large tooth, you can actually peel it to be bigger, or you can go directly down the middle, just like she did by cutting it in half. But still, if you have a regular whitening strip, this hack is really amazing. But obviously, if you have the Lumi Smart, it's already built in, so you don't even need to cut anything. Yeah, I might as well just keep these on for the rest of the video because they're just so easy. Anyways, let's continue. Yep, not wrapping the excess strip. Okay. Okay, she is moving quick. The second one said, peel the strips and stretch them for more full coverage. Helpful if you have a wide smile. And she's actually right. You can stretch the strip out a little bit, and you can actually get it a little bit longer and go all the way back to the molars if you want to. Now, personally, I don't know if this affects the strip's longevity or if it really works as good stretched, so you can take that with a grain of salt, but I do see people do this quite a bit where they stretch it just to try and get a little more length out of it. Honestly, I don't really care because you can't really see your molars when you smile, so I don't really care about going all the way back to the molars, but if you do, you can stretch it all the way back and put it on there. That's actually a really good hack. Always dry the teeth well so they stick better. I like that one. That's a good little freebie there. And you can do this with our strips as well if you want to. What's the third one? Third one, if you have clear retainers, plop them on to secure the strips. What the hell? What the hell-iante? This is actually a really good tip. I'm looking around to see if I have any retainers here to put them in. But yeah, I mean, that would totally work. I actually like that a lot. Now, our strips, they stick so well that it really doesn't matter, and you can talk without them coming out. So it's really not too worried if you have a strip that's secured on there really good. But I mean, if you have a little retainer you want to wear, pop them on there and really get it pressed up against the tooth. That's actually a pretty good idea. And she just pops them right in there. And then 30 minutes later, she just takes them out. Wipe off first and then brush your teeth 30 minutes later. So that was her basically thing. Not gonna lie, I thought those were pretty good tips. Let's see if there was anything extra in the comments we should know about. Someone said, can you put on whitening strips if you had gold tooth gems? Well, the answer, we don't really know yet. I mean, you can put them on. We just don't know what happens underneath the tooth gem yet. In fact, I've actually had this bracket on for over 2.5 years, and we're actually about to do the final whitening piece. I actually created my own whitening tray to be able to only whiten the single tooth to get it fully white, and then we're gonna take the bracket off and we're gonna see underneath. So, but I probably wouldn't recommend you putting it on with tooth gems until we get the results and figure out if I have a yellow square underneath that bracket or not. Another one said that first tip is a game changer. And yes, it is a game changer. That's why we're one of the best selling whitening strips in the world, because we made that literally so easy for you, and you can adjust it to the exact size of your teeth without having to get scissors and chop them and all that type of stuff. And then somebody else said, what does it mean if I use strips to whiten my teeth and then part of my tooth turns whiter than the other part? And that actually is pretty common. And what she means is she gets these little white spots on the teeth. Now, this is normally an area of demineralization of your tooth. Now, this could actually happen for a couple of reasons. Normally, it's because you were in baby teeth and you got sick or you got hit or something like that, and it affected the development of the adult tooth, causing a little tiny blip in your tooth when it was being formed, which is now a little white spot or a little spot on your tooth. Now, the other way that that could happen is if you get braces or anything like that and you just don't take care of them, and the food and nastiness actually decalcify and actually start eating away at the enamel of the tooth. Now, that is a bad one. That means you didn't take care of your teeth. That is almost like a scar on your tooth, but that will also lighten up a little more if you're whitening. But don't be too worried though. That little white spot will fade back to the color it was previously before the whitening, and then also whitening your teeth to match that color of white and getting your teeth whiter actually helps them to be less noticeable. Either way, I thought these were some great tips. Now, you guys tagged me in another one. This thing almost has 50 million views, and you guys kept saying, oh my gosh, Bentist, this is a new form of dental water torture. I don't know what's going on. What are you dentists getting into these days? And I was like, wait, what? And so let's go ahead and check out the video and see exactly what all the hubbub is about. All right, he's just filling her up there. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what we're looking at right here is basically what we call an isolation check. That black thing in his mouth is actually what we call a rubber dam. And you see, we have that little metal piece, that little hoopty-doopty there, is actually a metal clamp that goes onto the tooth that you're gonna work on. This guy is about to get a root canal. And so we don't want water going in and out and saliva going in and out, infecting the area. It needs to be hyper clean. So you have to have the water stay in here for about a minute or so to see that there is no leakage, no bubbles coming in, anything like that. So you know that that area is completely safe. And so what'll happen is he'll probably clean this up here in a second, because it looks like that rubber dam placed by Dr. Mahib Shaib, I'm sorry, I probably butchered that, looks like it was pretty good, and he's ready for that root canal. So water torture? Absolutely not. But to make sure that that root canal goes swimmingly good and clean and there's no reinfection of the area? Absolutely. Let's go to the comments. Someone said, what type of waterboarding torture technique is this? Oh my gosh, somebody actually said, imagine having a stuffy nose with this. And this is actually a big thing with these rubber dams, is it does happen sometimes. And if you actually look, he's got it right here, so the nose is clear. But sometimes if you have a stuffy nose, I could see where the claustrophobia would literally attack you, because you'd be like, and it would just be like a balloon, like opening out. But there is a little slit there that if they are having a big stuffy nose or a really problem breathing, we can actually cut right here, and we can create a little space up here on the upper. As you notice, it's on the lower teeth, so we can cut it away here so that you can get a little bit of breathing going on through the mouth. So don't worry too bad, but I could see how my claustrophobia people out there could have some issues. Somebody else said, that made my teeth hurt just literally watching the water sit on that tooth. And girl, if that's gonna hurt you, you got some sensitivity issues. I don't know what you got that just water sitting on your tooth is causing sensitivity. You've probably been using that charcoal toothpaste I told you guys not to use, but maybe, go to your dentist and let them know if you're having sensitivity just from water sitting on your tooth, because that is not normal. Okay, now this next one is gonna be pretty interesting. This was a man who said, I got the gold grills, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want them anymore. And you guys tagged me a ton in this guy's transformation and said, hey, this is pretty wild. I had no idea that this is what it takes if you're getting gold crowns off. So we're gonna go ahead and watch this man's transformation and just see how good it goes. All right, gold teeth removal. My boy just spit out. Oh my gosh. Okay, so first off, right out the gate, you see this guy ripping his little gold crowns off. And that's probably one of the things that I don't think people realize when they get gold crowns, that they're gonna actually have them ripped off at some point if they want to. They use this little jammer. It's like a little thing that sticks over, and you just have to go pop, 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 and then you literally just rip that gold crown off. So that could be, enough for me to never get permanent gold grills ever just from that alone. So this is what he looked like before he got his gold grills, okay? Oh boy, look at that transformation. That looks so much better. Oh my gosh, look at that smile. I'm not gonna lie. You can see he's happier, he's smiling better, he loves it. And I'm not gonna lie, we've been seeing this a ton. We're seeing a lot of people move away from the gold titanium grills, all that type of stuff, to moving to natural white teeth, or just white or teeth in general. But I do wanna let people know that either one of these is still damaging your teeth. If you do the regular veneers or if you do the gold crowns, they're still gonna cause an issue. If you stop whenever you look that he's getting his crowns off, you can really see what's underneath there. The teeth are whittled down, they're chipped, they got glue all over them, and that's because those teeth actually had to be physically whittled down to make room for that gold crown. Now in his case, he just already ruined the teeth, so he's got to get them off to get new things on there, and it is what it is, and I do think the white looks better than the gold. But if you have naturally good teeth, maybe just don't get this. And there is tons of veneers now that you can 3D print, or you can actually do non-prep veneers, which means they don't actually damage your teeth, but sometimes those can look a little bit bulky. Let's see what the people in the comments think about my man's gold grill changeover. Someone literally said he went from where's my hug to what's your number. That's why someone else said don't ever put them back in. That's why I think they look really good with the natural veneer look. I just see, like I said, that gold grill look is just kind of, it's in the past. People aren't doing it as much anymore. Somebody said I'm just gonna leave it here with that picture of his teeth. And yeah, I'm talking about it. I think that is a great thing to say, because a lot of people don't realize what's happening underneath all of your rappers' famous grills and celebrities' veneers and all that type of stuff, because all of their teeth look like that underneath. And lastly, someone said just get grills instead of permanents. And this man has watched my videos. He knows if you're ever gonna get grills or you're ever gonna get anything like that, don't get permanent ones. Just get the removable ones. That way you get to keep your good teeth. You don't have to whittle anything down, and then you can clean them anytime you want. Just pop the grills in for a night, take them out, and you got the white teeth. You got the best of both worlds here. I mean, why not? Now you saw what that dude's teeth look like just after having gold grills for a little bit, but what would happen to your teeth if you didn't brush them for an entire year? Well, we actually got tagged in a video that could show you exactly what you got going on. So let's go ahead and watch it and see how accurate it really is.
Imagine not brushing your teeth for an entire year.
I cannot imagine.
Well, after just one day, a thin layer of bacteria called plaque starts coating your teeth.
Now that's actually true. The initial coating of your teeth is plaque, and it's a biofilm that just sticks onto your teeth because of all these different bacteria, and it's all the food and gunk and stuff that you haven't brushed off during the day. So let's continue.
It's sticky.
It is.
And it's already starting to eat away at your enamel.
That's the interesting part, is the plaque doesn't necessarily eat away at your enamel, but the bacteria like strep mutans, P. gingivalis, all that type of stuff produce the acid that eat away. The bacteria in the plaque is what's eating away at your teeth, if that makes sense.
First week, that plaque hardens into tartar. And
Also
at that
known as
point,
calculus.
your toothbrush becomes basically useless.
Now, when he says your toothbrush becomes basically useless, it's because it really is. It's almost like cement. When cement hardens and it's really, really hard, you need a jackhammer to get it off. You can't just wipe it away like you can before it sets. And same thing with plaque and calculus, or tartar, like this guy likes to say.
2 weeks in, your gums start swelling. You'll notice bleeding, bad breath, and the early signs of gingivitis.
And this is really normal because we see people go into this stage a lot. That's the people that brush and floss and they see a little bit of blood there and then they freak out and they don't do anything anymore because they think they're hardening their teeth. No, this is actually you getting rid of all the nastiness that's causing that. So if you're seeing bleeding or anything like that while you're brushing or flossing, you need to continue until you don't get that anymore, because you're in this stage if you haven't done that.
Which is an infection in your gums. But it doesn't stop there. By the end of the month, the bacteria are thriving. They're digging under your gums,
This is true.
breaking down tissue, and causing cavities.
Now you can see right there on this one, you see those little holes in the bottom of the teeth. That's really common. And so what happens, the bacteria poops out acid. Yes, you literally have bacteria poop on your teeth, and that acid will wear away the enamel and destroy it, and then they can burrow in a little bit deeper, put more acid on it, weaken the enamel, burrow in a little bit deeper, and once they break through that hard outer shell of your enamel, that's when the bad stuff happens. That's when you get the root canals and craziness.
Some people even start losing bone around the roots.
It's true.
And after a full year without brushing, you'd be dealing with advanced periodontal disease. Most of your teeth would be loose or gone.
Oh my gosh.
And the smell? Yeah, that alone might keep people 6 feet away from you.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought this was a pretty good, accurate description of what happens. And yes, if you don't brush your teeth for an entire year, your bone is going to really have some issues. You're gonna have advanced periodontal disease. You're probably gonna start to notice some wiggly, loose teeth. That calculus is gonna be built up and your breath is going to stink. I'm not gonna lie, because you're just letting this bacteria have a heyday, eating away at all of your teeth like a tooth cavity buffet. Let's see what we got in the comments. Someone said this really isn't true. And actually, no, it really is. I did, right? So what he said is pretty true. I'm not gonna lie. Someone else said, how do homeless people do it? Which honestly, I've never really thought about that before. I mean, the mechanical act of brushing your teeth is actually more important than the toothpaste and stuff like that. It's just getting the plaque and gunk off of your teeth. And so, I'm sure homeless people may have a toothbrush, or they can even just use like their t-shirt. Like you can just use your t-shirt, and wiping off your plaque will help a ton. But yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I don't really know. And someone else said, I didn't brush my teeth for 1 full month and nothing happened to me. Well, little do you know, Miss, I don't even know how to pronounce your name, that you probably did have some stuff going on, because you can't see exactly what's happening a lot of the times. A lot of the times it's under the gum tissue in the bone. Your bone is resolving and your gum tissue is going to start getting inflamed, and it's starting to eat away at the little holes between your teeth, and you don't even realize it. And it may be a tiny cavity now, a month later, but 6 months from now, a year from now, that will turn into a big cavity. You'll start to notice little black holes between your teeth from where the bone has dissolved, and then the gum tissue finally falls, calling black triangles. There's a lot of things that are happening. So no, I do not recommend, even if you think you are not seeing anything, to not brush your teeth for an entire month, because I promise you there's a lot more going on than meets the eye. But then again, what can I say? I'm just an orthodontist. It's almost like I went to school for like 50,000 years to teach you guys this stuff. But you know what? It is what it is. And we just talked about not having your teeth clean for an entire year, but this girl actually wishes she didn't have her teeth clean. That's something I never thought that I would say, but you guys take me in this video. This girl was literally mad that she got her teeth clean. Let's go ahead and check it out.
I had my teeth cleaned yesterday, and I hate how my mouth feels. I hate that I can feel each individual tooth. I hate it. They removed all of my plaque and all of the dirt on my teeth, but bring back my plaque now.
Wild. I've never had somebody actually tell me at the dental office that, please put my plaque back on. I don't want to. What she's talking about is, yes, we have teeth. We have ridges. The teeth are, even though they can be aligned with each other, they're still, if you look at them from the front, they're just kind of bumpy a little bit, because each tooth is, like kind of bulbous. And so what happens is, that plaque calculus can build up in between the cracks of your teeth and form a nice smooth little layer in there. Now that one, that's kind of concerning, because that means she had a lot of calculus to smooth out all of those different areas. But definitely have never had anybody tell me to put it back before.
I do not want to be this conscious of my mouth.
I get that.
I hate that there are holes. I can breathe through my teeth.
Okay, now that actually tells me some more stuff. Now, as you guys know, if you let plaque and calculus build up on your teeth, it inflames the bone and the gum tissue. And so the gum that's healthy and full in between the teeth, it actually feels fairly smooth to your tongue. But if you let calculus and all these things live there, that bone will start to get inflamed and dissolve down, the gum tissue will follow it, and you will get what are called black triangles. Now, this is what black triangles look like. And so when you remove all the calculus, now it can also be from like damaging, like I have some black triangles on my lower teeth because I hit into it really bad and it caused some damage. You can get some recession via that as well. But when you remove that, she's very right. You feel these tiny little holes in between your teeth, and you can actually breathe through them. And so that's probably what she's feeling, which is probably a sign that she needed that cleaning even more, because she's starting to get these black triangles. So she actually needs to clean her teeth more, not less. But anyways, let's keep going.
I don't like this cleanliness. I'm about to eat a whole load of sugar and not brush my teeth for weeks because why can I feel my teeth? I don't want to feel my teeth.
Yeah, maybe don't do that. And actually, if you look, you can see that she's got very crowded teeth, which actually makes it even easier to get that plaque and calculus buildup. So maybe it's just the crowding that's bothering her. I would much rather her go into braces, maybe get some Invisalign, maybe straighten some teeth up so it feels a lot smoother to her. And then, she would still go get the cleanings because, sorry to tell you this, you need the cleanings, especially if you're already feeling holes between your teeth and all that type of stuff. That's not very good. Let's see what the people in the comments had to say. Am I the only one that loves that feeling? I love feeling fresh and clean. No, I actually love that too. And in fact, a new toothpaste that we're working on, which will literally change the game in oral care forever. I cannot wait to tell you guys this. Your teeth will never feel more clean ever again in your entire life than after you use our new toothpaste coming out. It's insane, but I can't tell you about it just yet. I can breathe through my teeth. Yeah, I totally get it. In fact, have you ever done that like water shooting thing where you try and shoot the water out through the middle of your tooth? Yeah, you can do that, yeah. My bottom teeth are just now skinny after the cleaning. I don't like it. That's actually a pretty good, actually way to say it is like after you get your toothbrush, they just feel skinny because you can feel every little groove in there. But let me know, do you guys like the feeling or do you not like the feeling of cleaning? Because personally, I like it. I'm just saying. You know what's worse than a dental cleaning though? Is getting lockjaw. That's right, there are people in this world where if they open their mouth, you can't close them anymore, and that can cause a little panics to set in. But what if I told you there was a way to get rid of that lockjaw, and this girl is going to teach you exactly how to do it. So let's go ahead and see if it's safe and if it's actually the correct way to get rid of that lockjaw if it ever does so happen to you.
Yes, I can definitely show you how to unlock your jaw. So first of all, we need to get it to lock. So what I do is I just make my...
Okay, so first off, even before if you do have lockjaw or you have locking of your jaws, don't forcefully do it over time. We'll explain why later, but it can just cause more problems down the line. So try and avoid locking your jaw at all points.
Mouse why?
Okay. Okay, so she has a locked jaw, and what this is called is an open lock, specifically in her mind. So first we have to know about the joint of the jaw. The jaw is actually a ball and socket joint, kind of like your shoulder. And so there's a little socket here called a little process up here, and then your little ball goes in here, okay? That's called the condyle of your jaw. And when you open, it opens and closes, and it just kind of sits in that little fossa. But if you open up and stretch out the ligament so much that you open, and this pops out over here, you can't get that ball in the socket anymore because it's locked outside, and that is why she is currently in an open lock position, because that condyle has nowhere to get back inside. It should be staying in here, but it's popped out and now it has nowhere to go back in, if that makes sense. So let's see how she exactly fixes it. I don't lie, this is the point that people panic a lot too. This is like kind of... Okay. Push down. And there you go.
So basically what I did...
And that's actually a pretty good idea of what you do. In fact, we see a lot of people where this happens, where they literally wake up in the middle of the night and they're panicking because they can't close their mouth because they yawned or they're slept on their pillow weird and their jaw messed up. But actually what you saw there is she put her back 2 fingers and pushed down. Now we talked about how you can open up your mouth and that can pop out of that condyle. And so you don't want to push up on your jaw because that won't do anything. But if you push down on your lower jaw, it moves that condyle down until it goes and pops back in. So yeah.
Grab onto the back teeth, like back there. Instead of pushing it back up into your face, like what you think you need to do, you actually push it down. You push your jaw down, and then it kind of like
And
Goes
it'll
back
naturally
up.
kind of pop back. Now, I actually probably, you could do this, like pull down with your fingers, and that maybe work, just trying to like shimmy it down and back. We actually, as a dentist, if I would be on front of you with a chair, I would have my 2 thumbs, and we would push down with the thumbs and try and almost rotate your jaw back. So you got here and you push down, and you kind of almost pull up, you kind of rotate it that way. And that actually seems to help a little bit better. But I could see if you're doing it by yourself, you could use these and really pull down with your fingers. But I suggest getting the thumbs and really pushing down that way.
Goes back up naturally. So you just push down, and then eventually it would almost like magically like go back up like a scoop almost.
And that's pretty much it. Now the problem is the reason why this is happening is because her ligaments are stretched out or damaged or hit to where it's not gonna fit inside that fossa if she opens up anymore because it's just too loose. So she'll have to get a ligament surgery or a TMJ surgery to basically get it back in the position, and then they tighten up using screws the ligament or the rubber band that's kind of holding it in so that it can't get out of that fossa anymore. But lockjaw is some serious business. Let's check out comments and see what you guys think. How do you just lock your jaw on command? What? Well, like I said, when the ligament is so undone, you can just literally open your mouth until it locks. And that's exactly what's happening. It's actually not good for your stuff because you're just gonna keep stretching out that ligament even more. And that's just gonna cause more problems. Sis, you could have done a voiceover. That's actually true. I didn't know what she was saying for half of that video. This is good to know. My jaw has only locked in the closed position 3 times, and it is horrendously painful and takes a month to unlock. Now, what she's talking about is a closed lock, and that's where you can't open your mouth. You can't open your mouth, and that's a different type of way that condyle can get stuck. So literally it's like saying it like can't even open. And yes, it can be pretty painful, but that being said, if you haven't unlocked your jaw in like the first day or 2, you probably should go to a dentist, and they can at least help either get it back unlocked or give you pain meds to get the inflammation down or whatever to make that work. But you should not be waiting around for literally a month for your jaw to unlock. That sounds terribly painful. All right, well, I hope you guys learned a ton today and saw some of the crazy videos along with me, and I appreciate it. In fact, we're trying to get to 10 million followers, so you gotta hit that subscribe button and like button. I'm trying to be one of the first dentists to ever get to that diamond play button status. I got gold, I got silver, but I need that diamond play button. Also, if you're seeing a little video pop up here and here, you're probably gonna like it because YouTube is pretty good with their AI recommendations, and they say you're gonna like that video, so you might as well click that, watch that, and like that one as well, because it really helps the algorithm and helps me get out there to teach more of you guys about oral care. That being said, I love you guys, and I will see you guys later. Dr. Winters out.